Hey everyone, I'm Cory with Compassion Works for All. As you may know, each Friday in October we're releasing a new video about mindfulness and politics. By the time you watch this video though, early voting may have already begun in your state. And if that's the case, please make sure that you vote either safely in person or follow the guidelines in your state for casting a ballot by mail. For today though, we want to talk about practicing compassion with our politics. I get daily texts and emails from the political party that I tend to support, and almost every one of them warns me about what the other party is up to. But not just the other party, a very specific person in that party who, according to the emails, is the mastermind behind everything that they do. And the warning is that if I don't act now, then this person will have total control over the whole country, and that should make me very, very afraid. Fear is all around us in politics, and it's especially present in our conversations, whether those are face-to-face or on social media. And lately, when I've come across political posts that are mean or petty or hateful, I've found it helpful to ask, what are they afraid of? When we can address the fear in other people, it's a lot easier to approach them as friends instead of enemies. And when I find myself growing angry or bitter over something that they are doing, I find it helpful to ask myself, what am I afraid of? Because when I can hold out and identify the fear that I'm feeling, I'm better equipped to manage it rationally with facts and evidence instead of reactively with anger and violence. And fear is quite possibly the biggest contributor to our current political climate. And it's got all of us working solely from that limbic area of our brain instead of from that prefrontal area. And by keeping fear in circulation, we allow ourselves to suffer. And through our perpetual suffering, we create these really toxic environments. But fear is also a universal human experience, and if we can recognize the way that it drives us, then we can engage with each other with a bit more compassion and humility. And maybe we can help alleviate one another's fears instead of insult and degrade people for being afraid. Because compassion, by definition, is the desire to help ease the suffering of others. And one of the most effective ways to reduce the suffering caused by fear is through human connection. At Compassion Works for All, through our experience leading programs inside of jails and prisons, we've learned firsthand that it's hard to fear people when we know and love them. Proximity and familiarity give us that tangible, factual information from which to base our decisions about people and especially about their politics. And politically speaking, compassion is not just limited to personal interactions. It also applies to policies. I said a couple of weeks ago that politics is about people, and in every society there will always be people who suffer, whether physically, psychologically, emotionally, relationally. Suffering really is unavoidable, but it doesn't have to be ignored. And our political system is not really designed to lift up those who suffer. We support and elect people who, for the most part, have some level of wealth and power already. And it's the wealthy and powerful who have the most influence over the people that we elect. So the policies that get the most priority are the ones that help the wealthy and powerful remain wealthy and powerful, which means it's easy for people who are sick or poor or homeless or addicted or imprisoned to become political afterthoughts. And compassion gets sidelined in American politics a lot because of this belief that it's somehow a form of weakness, and that true leadership is displayed through dollar signs and power and violence and one's ability to conquer the enemy. And if not a weakness, then compassion is at most thought of as a nice secondary way to live, though it shouldn't be the primary way we vote or govern. But truly compassionate people are courageous and strong. To care for those who suffer simply because they're suffering and for no personal reward or gain, and at the expense of our own comfort, is an act of great strength and a sign of power unto itself. In my house, we have a big family, and so selflessness is a fundamental virtue, both for philosophical and also very practical reasons. Yes, we want our children to be selfless, but with 10 people in the house, we can't really afford for anyone to behave selfishly. And over the years, our kids have grown so tired of hearing us ask, "Are you the only person in the family?" when they say or do something out of selfishness. But compassionate politics demands that we ask, am I the only person in the country? Are there people whose needs far outweigh my own? And so over the next several weeks, when you talk politics with friends and family, and when you cast your vote, practice the brand of politics that makes you more compassionate. Use your comments and use your vote to help ease the suffering of others. And even though it might feel a little wrong to be kind and selfless in the political arena, trust that when you practice compassion, you're on a really good path.